Hi, I'm Dr. Diane Lass. I'm a clinical psychologist and I have a private practice, Hope and Strength Psychological Services, and a nonprofit, Center for Hope and Strength, which is for domestic violence and sexual assault victims. I have wanted to create this channel for a long time because I felt like it would be a good place for people to come together and discuss life transitions. We all go through them and we're going to continue going through them. When COVID came about, it threw all of us into life transitions. As far as my private practice, I I didn't I didn't want to. There were a lot of therapists who were doing telehealth, and I didn't want to do so. I enjoy seeing clients face to face, but March of last year that came to an end. So we all have to adjust. The other thing I noticed about after COVID hit, that there were a lot with my clients, that there were a lot of issues that maybe were like brewing underneath the surface, but when everybody went into lockdown, they just started coming up and then brought to the light that we had to look at them. When we stay really busy and we're in this hamster wheel world, then we can avoid and suppress what's going on with us. But with COVID, a lot of those issues came to light. So it helped me to kind of look back at the transitions that had gone on in my life. So to share a little bit about the transitions that I've gone through, I got married when I was really young. I had 3 kids by the time I was 24. I sold real estate for 12 years. And when my kids were 9, 11, and 12, my husband and I were divorced. So then I was a single mom with kids, and then I got remarried. After I got remarried, I thought I wasn't quite sure if real estate is what I wanted to do. I was good at it, but I wasn't sure that that was what I wanted to do, or if it was a natural progression with my family because it was my family's business. So I decided to stop selling real estate and to come home and just wait and figure out what I wanted to do. And during that time, I was reading psychology books. I seriously think that I read every psychology book or self-help book at Bookstore. So I decided that maybe it would be a good idea for me to put all that reading to good use. When I graduated high school, my parents obviously wanted me to go to college, but I chose not to. But I also felt like if it was something that if I didn't receive my bachelor's, that it was something that I would regret. So I decided that I was going to go back to school and get my bachelor's in psychology. And I did. When I graduated, I graduated the same year that my youngest son graduated from high school. So I was obviously an older student when I went back to school, which brings on its own challenges. But anyway, so when I was in at Point Loma Nazarene, I somehow school just took on a life of its own, and I ended up 10 years later with a PhD. And so up to this point, all of the life transitions that I was going through were really by my own choice. Whether it was getting divorced, going to school, changing real estate, those things were my choice. Doesn't mean that they weren't difficult decisions. They were really difficult decisions. But after I received my PhD 11 years ago, my mom got really sick, and it was a weekend, so we took her to the emergency room, and she had pneumonia. And up to this point, she was perfectly healthy. We took her, and she was in ICU for 2 months, and then we had to make a decision to take her off of life support. So my mom passed away. My mom and dad were from a really small town in Arapahoe, Nebraska, 1,000 people. So we took her back. She was buried there. 5 months later, we went back all of the family went back for the first Memorial Day. And the night before Memorial Day, we were at a friend's place and we barbecuing and playing a kickball game. And when people went to switch sides, my kids were yelling, "Call 911." And I looked out, and my husband was on the ground, and he had had a heart attack and died. So I went to Nebraska on a Thursday with my husband, who I'd been with for 20 years, and I came back on a Tuesday without one. So that transition had nothing to do with my choices. And after I got back, then my whole world as I knew it stopped. I didn't know exactly who I was separate than the relationship with my husband. But I had to pass a licensing exam to become a psychologist. All I remember is that I would come downstairs in the morning and it would be dark, and I'd sit down on the couch and start studying. And then I'd look outside and it was dark, and I realized it was nighttime. I was 100% on survival mode. And not only was I on survival mode in that respect, I was thrown out there in the world as all of a sudden being the single person that I didn't even want to be a single person. It wasn't by choice. I didn't get a divorce. He just died. And I'll tell you that those dating experiences didn't go real well. And as much as I knew logically that he didn't leave me, I felt like he abandoned me and he rejected me. So whether it is that the life transitions are the ones that we choose, or whether they're ones that life just presents upon us, just like COVID, they're all bring about uncertainty, change, and instability. So I'm really glad that you have spent your time with me, and I'm looking forward to discussing future life transitions. And if you have any life transitions that you would like to discuss, just put a message below, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.